Review for you. Movie I want to talk about is Kaleidoscope. It was released last year, directed by Rupert Jones, who also wrote the screenplay, and stars Toby Jones, who's Rupert's brother, and Reed and Sinead and Matthews. The setting, it's a typical council flat in a block of flats in an urban setting, and that's where Carl, played by Toby Jones, lives in a tidy, sparse sort of flat. He lives alone, and he's a gardener. The movie tells the tale of a man who is trying to get his life back on track after a spell in prison. We're not entirely sure why he was in prison, but as the tale unfolds, early on he brings a young girl back to the flat, and it's clear that he is indulging in some form of internet dating or some dating site, and he appears on the face of it to be at ease, but underneath it all he's extremely uncomfortable in trying to carry out social skills with this woman. She quickly gets a little bit inebriated and is a contrast in that she is full of herself and very expressive, and it becomes clear from what she says that she often meets men in this way and takes advantage of them in some shape or form, often financially. So the ground rules are laid for an interaction that suggests that things are going to go sour. At that point, we start to get a feeling that Carl is not exactly at ease psychologically, and the movie basically tells the story of how he tries to combat the effect of his mother, played by Anne Reed, who later on in the movie arrives rather unexpectedly at his flat, which causes quite a lot of consternation for Carl. He initially rejects her. Now, before she arrives, we are made aware that a woman's body has been found in an adjacent flat, on a ground floor flat in the apartment blocks. And the movie, in its rather Hitchcock Polanski way, hints that Carl is likely to be responsible for this, and we have these flashbacks of incidents between Carl and the woman in the bathroom, on the stairs, and a picture is presented to the viewer of a possible scenario where Carl has murdered this woman, cut her up, cut her legs off and her arms off, and buried her body and her limbs in this flat complex nearby. It's never clear cut that this is the outcome. The police do interview Carl, but they have very little evidence. And in the flat, there is also seemingly not a lot of evidence incriminating him, although he does have some of the girl's possessions. So it develops into one of these Hitchcock whodunits, and I found it a very appealing watch. Anne Reid arrives, and she is a tremendous actress who creates a great amount of tension and sexuality, even though she's plays Toby's mother. She becomes acutely aware of things and straight out tells Carl what her thoughts are, which generates even more a concern for Carl. Overall, it's an interesting movie, a psychological movie. Jones is first rate throughout. His character is certainly disturbing, to say the least, and he also has a lot of obsessional behaviour with regard to cleanliness, etc. So anyway, that's Kaleidoscope 2017. I suggest you take a look at it.